Hey guys, I wanted to share something with you. I had some thoughts on the subject from an article I read on Twitter, and it reminded me of thoughts that I've been having but never really put together. So the article said Airline testing augmented reality smart glasses to read travelers' emotions. So I asked myself why and for which purpose. Now, why and which purpose might sound the same, but you see, why for me means what is the motivation behind an agency that has to do with flying people and bringing them from A to B. Why would these people want to know what your emotions are? And the purpose would be what purpose? How would this help them fly people from A to B better? Okay, so I thought like, well, number one, it could be for customer service saying, okay, if we do this and this, how do the flight passengers react? Are they happier? Does this make them more happy? Or number two, is it to collect data and profile the human condition as a general, turn it into a variable that can be manipulated at will? Now this sounds like very out there and conspiracy like, but let's have a look at it. Now, what does the advertising industry do with your information? Isn't this precisely what they do? Everything you browse in the internet. What do you think cookies are for? Why does Google know what you liked and which shoes you looked at? It's after you look at those shoes, how is it that you keep on seeing those shoes wherever you go? Be it Facebook or, you know, one of your conspicuous pages that not even your family knows about, but yeah, they got those shoes that you've been looking at, that fishing gear, those boots. Anyway, so there are people that are interested in knowing why you do things and what do you like, so that you might do and like things in a predictable way. Who would benefit from this? Well, besides the advertising industry, who could sell this information to companies who would like to know how to manipulate people to like their products, a lot of people. See, because it's not about this, the market is saturated. It's not anymore about creating products that meet what people like. It's not like, let's create something that people like. No. These days it's more, and this is my solemn opinion, it's more about how do we get people to like this? How do we manipulate people's thoughts and emotions so that they think that they need it? See, because most of the things coming out these days, you don't really need it. You don't. You have 3 pairs of shoes. That fourth pair, you don't need them. That third pair, you didn't need them. That second pair, you thought you needed them because you only have one pair. But the sad truth is, you will only wear one pair at a time. Yet they made you believe and think that you need more than that pair of shoes that you're wearing. They make you think that you need more than that one spoon that fits in your mouth. It sounds awkward, but sometimes metaphors is the only way to explain stuff that's going on behind your back, behind the visible line of things that you can actually be aware of. And most of these things you are aware of. The only problem is they created a label called conspiracy. And every time you touch it and try to reason to yourself that this is not right, you are slapped with the stick called, hey, don't be a conspiracist. Right? And if you do go the extra mile and you get into it, you are slapped with something else called, hey, be careful. Look what happened to that conspiracist. And if you even go the furthest mile and say, I'm doing this not because of a conspiracy, but because it's wrong and I stand for the right. And I want to do this so that all the other people are saved from that evil. You then will be reminded that a long time ago somebody was nailed to a cross because he did the same. And if all the other things didn't scare you, subconsciously that last one might scare you, because you will be put before the question, do I want to be slapped and nailed to a cross for the better of mankind? And sadly, but actually reasonably enough, most people will say no. So yeah, this article brought me to a deep subject, but it also reminds me that this stuff is going on out there, and just knowing it might help us become more than just variables. We might become alternate variables in a way that we stay unpredictable, because knowing what's going on means they can't manipulate you. See, that one factor that lets them win is us not knowing what's going on. And they create, because we're always going to be a variable. We're always going to be those 10, 20 variables in the equation that nobody can predict. Like being in the dark, yeah. That's what they do. When you're close to it, they just shut off the lights on you. It's not that that happened, but ironically, I'm just using that. Anyway, what I was saying is that you are and will always be unpredictable, even to yourself. No one is allowed to know what they're about. But what can they do? They can implant into you constants. They can implant into you notions that create predictable behaviors, predictable opinions, emotions. And those are the dots that they connect when they control you. How do they make it easy to implant those things in you? By feeding your fear, your anger, destroying society and all bonds of family, moral togetherness, compassion. Why don't they want those things? Well, those are the greatest antidotes against implanting fixed, manipulable elements into you. So stay aware of this. And this is my reason for talking to you about this. For me, it's not about, getting out there or having a million clicks. No, it's about making you aware of what's going on so that you stay a variable. So that you know that there's stuff inside of you that's not from you, and that you can actually deal with and become who you actually are. That's what I believe many great people meant with the truth can set you free. Because truly knowing what's going on around you doesn't make you a conspiracist. It makes you someone who understands who you really are by discerning what you aren't. And for all you people out there who want to get up, slap somebody, go onto the street, rally, throw some burning bottles, that is precisely what they want. See, that's also part of the plan. It plays into their hands, those people who think that they can do and change something by being aggressive. And I'm not preaching Mahatma Gandhi here. I'm just saying, think about what I'm saying, okay? Well, I just wanted to share this with you, and part of it, I didn't even touch those subjects, was biometrical pictures. They've been taking biometrical pictures for the longest. Didn't you ever wonder why? What do they do with those biometrical pictures, meaning face recognition? If there was a data bank, a central data bank, every time you walk past any video camera, it could recognize you just due to those biometrical pictures. It will go dit, big map, that's where he is, that's where they're going. Look, over there, that's where he was yesterday, that's where he is right now. IP address, phone, yeah. Everybody's a walking IP address. Your cell phone, every time you log in, especially Starbucks or any other cafe. Why do you think they hate people who use VPNs? And then there's the quantum computers. I know they can do a lot of good, but we're talking about. See, till now the only problem was computing all that information, making it accessible in the time needed. With a quantum computer, that and much more can be done. So, all I'm saying here is be aware that you are more than people make you out to be, and you do not have the limits that society tells you you have. And to limit yourself morally does not mean that you are limiting yourself in potential. It's the other way around. The more you limit yourself morally, meaning that you constrain those unmoral desires, the more you create a vacuum in which you, as who you truly are, can grow. Because all of those immoral variables are the leashes and the little loopholes that they use to get into you. Okay, I've gone over the time I planned to have this going. I wish you the best of luck, and if you watch this and you don't agree, please comment and tell me why so that I can rectify my opinions and maybe just think about it. And otherwise, stay well.